Trey Hendrickson is given permission to seek a trade. Adam Schefter reported the Bengals have taken the rare step of granting All-Pro defensive end Trey Hendrickson permission to seek a trade. It's been an honor and a privilege to represent Cincinnati over the last 4 years. The NFL sack leader said, I love this city and organization. I appreciate it. So it sounds like he's donezo. Like, it sounds like he's out. I can't help but look right now and think, holy shit. The Bengals defense that was awful just got a whole lot worse.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, your agenda gets fulfilled because now they have money to pay T. Higgins because they don't have to pay to keep Trey Hendrickson.
You think they will?
But this defense, yeah.
They're cheap. They're cheaper than all hell.
It's a good point. I have no idea, though, what the hell the Bengals are going to do because you looked at it coming into this offseason of Sam Hubbard didn't get any sacks last year, and he might be on his way out. And I thought he might get cut, but he retires. Yeah. So he's going out with a little bit of grace here. I was at least thinking, all right, you got Hendrickson. Let's get some defensive tackles. Let's maybe draft another edge rusher. But they don't have shit. They had a bad defense, an awful defense last year. Who's their best defensive player if you get rid of Hendrickson?
Mike Hilton? Slot corner. Very good player, but slot corner can't be your best player on defense.
No.
Jermaine Pratt, I think, requested a trade a while ago. So he might be gone. He was their tackles leader at middle linebacker. Cincinnati's in a bad spot. And this is not where it's the exact opposite spot you want to be when you have a top 5 quarterback in the NFL and maybe the best receiver in the NFL. You're looking across the dial and you got nothing helping you. I made the comp to Matt Ryan teams for Joe Burrow. The prophecy
it's so
is
much worse
becoming
than that,
fulfilled.
dude. It's so much worse than that.
How could it be? They didn't have a 10. I'm not going to get.
But
into
were
the
they
minutia,
were they
but
spending? The problem with the Bengals is that they're being cheap as shit.
Yeah. I got you.
Was Matt Ryan? Were they
Atlanta
cheap as
was
shit
trying
around Matt Ryan?
No, not on the offense. They were very willing to spend on the offense. Defense, they tried to solve it with the draft. They can't draft a pass rusher, so that's a bit of a different situation. You're right. Cincinnati is in dire straits. They need to make big plays soon for the defensive players, or else it's going to be an offense that isn't really fully fleshed out. Like, the offensive line still needs help. You have your 2 receivers and your quarterback. But I don't think that is a team that can run and gun. They can't be the Lions of 2 years ago, where really good explosive offense, defense was porous. We're just going to outgun you. They're not in the division for that. They have to play the Ravens with an incredible defense. Mm-hmm. Steelers always have a good defense. And the stupid Browns, who don't have an offense, still maintain a fantastic defense. So all of these in-division games they're going to have are going to be savage battles to the death. It's not going to be, we can just coast by. Every game is going to be a fight for them.
If they wanted to be true dickheads, they would trade Hendrickson to the Browns for Myles Garrett. And they would have to send extra compensation with Hendrickson.
Now you're speaking my language.
You probably have to send Hendrickson and like a day 2 pick, I would argue, because Myles Garrett's much younger, or not much younger, but he's younger than Hendrickson. He's also just got more upside production for what he can do. But like, if you really want to say, all right, you want a damn trade, we'll send you to Cleveland.
Sure.
And you can go waste your time there because you're too good for us. They'll pay you. They'll give you the money that you're looking for. And then Myles Garrett gets to go to a contending team. But none of this is going to happen. You do that when you're in Cleveland, not in Cincinnati. Okay, Paul Brown, give it a rest.
I would give it, if I was Cleveland in that proposition, I'd throw another pick in there. I'd give him a 2nd and 3rd. And Hendrickson for Garrett. He's worth it. That is a guy that Garrett can make the other 3 defensive linemen that you have that are adequate to good into all good. Like, just because you're going to have to expend so much offensive planning and resources into keeping that bendy freak from eviscerating your quarterback. So maybe that opens up for some rookie pass rusher that they draft or whoever they decide to acquire. But it has to be trenches oriented right now. You can get cheap with a linebacker. There's plenty of fast linebackers that love to tackle. It's the guys that can cover and tackle that get paid big. So they need to follow like that Rams format of not paying those guys, have 1 or 2 good defensive backs, and start investing in the trenches. Because every year we tried out Burrow. Hopefully he stays healthy the whole time. So the offensive line isn't even that shored up. And now the defensive line takes 2 massive hits in 1 week. They're in trouble.
Who needs a big meathead pass rusher, 4-3 defensive end? Who needs Trey Hendrickson? Like I'm trying to think this through here where he could fit. I mean, Dallas is a team that comes to mind that you need a secondary pass rusher opposite of Micah Parsons. That one would work pretty well.
I mean,
maybe Tampa. I don't know what kind of money Tampa has to spend on a pass rusher.
Like there's easy teams like Carolina who needs everything could use a Hendrickson, but
we're really sending them to the Wolves here.
I know we're sending them to Cleveland and Carolina is where we're giving them the pitch. But if they want it,
who's a play? Actually, well, here's an easy one that I think is affordable. The Commanders. Send them to the Commanders.
Couldn't hurt
because they might be able to send. They might be willing to send their first rounder. Because it's a late first.
I think they may be waiting on that Jonathan Allen domino to fall and to see what they do with his trade. But if that was the replacement, then swap it out.
You wouldn't be a direct swap. You probably have to trade Jonathan Allen and, again, a day 2 pick or multiple day 2 picks. Because an interior defensive lineman for one of the sack leaders in the NFL.
He can rush the pass, though.
Nah, I think that there's a... Trey Hendrickson's worth a lot more than Jonathan Allen.
I don't think so.
A pass rusher compared to an interior defensive lineman?
He's still a pass rusher. Jonathan Allen is
still
also
defensive
a pass
tackle.
Rusher. I got you. How am I defending the defensive tackle?
Yeah,
here?
man.
Dude, we got a Freaky Friday going on here.
Apparently.
I'm telling you. No, Jonathan Allen's value in the NFL, I think, is recognized. But because he's been buried and because I was forced to watch so many Commanders games, I got to see how dominant he truly is on the interior. Deron Payne got paid because Jonathan Allen was so dominant. Not because Deron Payne had some big money year where he really deserved it. It's because he had a bunch of one-on-one matchups.
I still think that if you... Again, I think that would be a good one-on-one swap because then you're at least addressing a need.
It.
You're at least... You need to fix your interior. So you're addressing your interior defensive line with an option that's going to be cheaper to pay because the defensive tackle is going to be cheaper to pay than an edge rusher. And then you can use your first-round pick on drafting one of these freaky edge rushers, get Nick Scourton or Shamar Stewart's probably not going to be on the board. Mykel Williams, maybe if he's still on the board. Get one of these dudes. That's a plan. That's what the Bengals do. That's the plan. Try and go and get one of these dudes that's on the trade market and try and make a swap happen.
While we're carving up the Bengals, I'm going to pitch you this.
Okay.
Could the Bengals trade away Houday to the Saints and just find their own new slogan? Because
they're Who Dat, aren't they?
No, Saints are Who Dat.
So the Bengals are Who Day.
Who Day. We can't have a Who Dat and a Who Day. So
how did that happen?
I think that New Orleans had a cool chant with Who Dat. Who Dat say gonna beat them Saints. And then the Bengals said, hey, we're gonna do the Ohio version. Who Day say gonna beat them Bengals. So
is that actually the full thing?
I don't know, but it's Who
That
Day.
sounds more Cajun. The one that you said sounded more.
Of course.
The Bengals one sounded more Cajun.
We can't have 2 Who Dat Who Days. So Bengals need to retire that. Come up with something Ohio based, not something Louisiana Cajun based.
You want some chili?
Ah.
That really gets the fans riled up.
You literally, your mascot's a tiger. You call the stadium the Den or something like that. They can get more creative than...
This goes to show how little we know about Cincinnati.
What do they got?
They got chili.
They swear chili? By. They had I
swear, every time you talk to somebody about Cincinnati, it's like, oh, yeah, it's Skyline Chili. What do you think was Skyline Chili? That's it. Like, is that all they have going for them is the chili?
No, they were
They're kind of near Kentucky.
The city was half a part of one of the greatest broadcasting gaffes of all time.
Is that enough?
That is not it's enough for me personally. Oh, I'm gonna watch that after the show. I'm gonna